Hey everyone, I'm back to share some cards that I made for Christmas. I got some new things, so I wanted to play with them. And I kind of like how they turned out. So let me show you what I used, and then I'll show you the cards. And then there at the end of the video, there is a process for how I put it all together. So if you're interested in the construction of the cards, it's not a process video, it's just how I went about doing some of the assembly, okay? So that's why this video is probably going to be pretty long. So for those of you who just want to see the projects, I'm going to do those up front. So what I used were these two new stamp and die set from the Greetery. This is the stamp guide, so you can actually see what it looks like assembled. Let me see. Bright and Bubbly is the name of the stamp set, and then the coordinating die. And I didn't use the string of lights, just the actual candles. And for this, I used Sentiment and the die cuts. Well, the string of lights. I actually cut my stamp. If you'll notice, there's three lights here, and then there's a fourth one here. I cut it right here because I only wanted 3 on my card, and I used the candles. And then I used this previously released stamp set from the Greetery. This is the vertical, what do they call this? Ornament box top vertical. Okay, so this is the red rubber stamp, and then this is a coordinating die that will let you cut the inner piece here and some other additional pieces that, you know, coordinate with it. So she actually has one that's horizontal, and I do have it. Let me just show it to you. I didn't use it, but you can do this sideways view. And then there's a die cut for that. This one says a very Merry Christmas, or wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. This one says something different. So I did all of my stamping with the vertical one. Okay, I used this older set from Papertrey Ink. I think this is one of Don McVeigh's stamp sets, but I used the Holiday Greens, which you could just use that, but I also used the coordinating one for the borders because it's a lot faster for me to stamp the border, and this is the one I used, and then individual greens in different darker shade. Okay, so I used this from Papertrey Ink. I also used this stamp set from Lawn Fawn. I actually have the die as well. This is because my cards are light up cards. So you guys have seen that I hauled the Chibitronics light stickers. I wanted something that would let the recipient know that there's a particular place to press on the card. So I wanted a stamp set like this because I'll be making more of these cards in the future. So I went ahead and picked this up. I actually got this off of Amazon as a stamp and die set. It was a pretty good price. Here's my Chibitronics supplies. I've shown this in hauls, so I have lots of different variety of stickers. I have different tapes, and of course you need watch batteries. So I think I've gone over that previously, but the watch batteries that I'm using are the 2016 3-volt batteries, and they're wider than the others, but they are slimmer. They're not as thick, so I like that. So your card doesn't have to be so thick, you know, going through the mail. So these are the batteries I use, and I purchased these off Amazon. The last thing I did not show in the actual you know, assembly of the items is this ink here, and this ink was used to stamp this particular stamp set because I didn't want it to be like in your face black, but it's dark enough for you to actually see that it's stamped while not also blacking out, you know, the actual stamped image. So that's why I went with a gray as opposed to some other, you know, like a dark black color. Okay, so that's what I used. And let me show you my cards. I actually made 3. They're pretty much all the same, but there is a difference. There is a difference, I will say. So these are the 3 cards that I made. You can see that they're all pretty much the same. I think the only difference is this one right here in the middle is actually stamped where the pressure point is on the left side, while the other 2 are stamped on the right side. So when you see my assembly portion of the video, you're going to see these 2 cards because I hadn't made this one yet. I decided to put a third one together. So like I said, this uses what I just showed you, and they all will light up. So I'm going to actually turn out the lights and show you what they look like when they are lit. At the end of the actual video, all the way at the end, I think I do show you what it looks like with the lights on, so you can see kind of how bright these LED lights are, in case you're wondering what it looks like. So I'm gonna pause the video, turn the lights out, and show you my different cards. 1 second. Okay, so here is the card with white lights, and you can see that they're an animated light. They fade in and out. And I'm just using these reverse tweezers to put the pressure in the spot where the battery is. So you can see that they kind of go in and out because the pressure on the battery and the way that I've run the tape, probably maybe it wasn't the best. I don't know if this is the one I used for the copper tape. I think it is. But you can see the light. It's a fade effect on these white lights. So that's what it looks like. And then I have it in red. And you'll notice that this one doesn't require me to put any pressure on the pressure point because of the way, how tightly I guess I did it. But you can see it very well. These lights are a fade effect with red. So I think it goes really well with the outline stamp, the red box. And you notice they're at different intervals. They're not all the same fade timing. See, isn't that cool? Okay, I left the best one for last because this one is a rainbow effect. So this one is not lit up yet, but when I put the pressure over the lights, you can see they are turning different colors, and these are going at the same rate, simply because of how I did the tape. So you can see it fades from one color to the next, all different colors of the rainbow. Isn't that cool? The lights aren't totally out because of course I wouldn't be able to film this video without lights, but you can see it's turned down a little. If I turn the card away from the light, it looks so cool, I think. Wouldn't you want to receive a card like this in the mail? I would hope so. Somebody would. So I'm closer to my goal for needing certain cards for a certain number of cards for this year. So there's 3 here, and I'll probably be making some more, lights. As soon as you take the pressure off, it's, it goes out. And I have the pieces of paper to insert back in so that when I mail it out, it doesn't use the battery up. This one I'll definitely have to put something in because you don't even have to press anything here for it to come on. But I'll just stick a piece of paper. Let's see. Stick a piece of paper in there and stop it from lighting up, and it breaks the circuit. So you'll notice if I insert that piece of paper in the right spot, let's see if I can do it right. I don't think it's in the right spot. If I put it back in the right spot, it should break the circuit, so the battery won't stay on. That's not in the right spot. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. I hope you enjoyed these cards, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Oh, and continue watching if you're interested in the assembly part. Thanks. Bye. Hey everyone. So thanks for continuing to watch the video. I just wanted to share some of the, I guess, the mechanics of how you put together a lighting card. You can watch any of the YouTube videos that are out there. They probably do a great job of showing you how to do the wiring for the tape for the cards. This is how I've set up the lighting for the Marion Bright card that I did. So they're exactly the same construction. It's just that I used copper tape on the left-hand side and the fabric tape, both conductive on the right-hand side. And I just wanted to see if there was a difference, honestly, in how the lights, how bright they are or what have you. The left-hand side has the white lights and the right-hand side has the colorful lights. And I know that because I can see the W on the light here. Okay. This one has a different shape anyway, so excuse me. So underneath the layer, or the cover of the card, basically what you've got is some foam tape to raise the card a little bit, because the battery has a certain thickness as well. So let me just hold this up closer to the screen. So you can see I have a piece of sticky note that I cut in half, and the sticky part is actually wrapped around on the inside. And this is just to save the life of the battery, to break the circuit. So what you're seeing here is the way I have it laid out. I'll insert a picture in the video here. If I can remember to, that shows my pencil drawing. So what I've done was I had a template of the front of the card. This is just one of the mock-ups that I originally created to kind of show where I wanted the lights to be, right? So I knew I wanted the evergreens, and then I wanted the string of lights to kind of look like they were going across the tree. And I, of course, wanted the placement of the lights to be right behind the little globes. And I have an extra one here. So this is the die cut of the lamp. And I wanted the hole to be right behind this, in the center somewhere, hopefully. So I use this as my template. I punched holes in it so that what I could do is then take this to the front of the card, okay, because this is the base of the card right here, and put it down, centered, and then just trace in some dots right here. And that is where my lighting ended up. And I have a template that I use that I got, with one of my light, light kits, where it's got the size of the actual light. It's not necessarily the shape of it, but the sizes. So what you do is you take that and you center it where that hole is, where you've drawn the hole, and then you draw the triangle. So this one happens to landed right here. So I drew a little pencil template, and you can see this is the negative side and this is the positive side. So I actually wrote that on the piece of paper. You can kind of see it faintly behind the lines there. So each one has a positive and negative side. That way you know which way the negative side is going to run from your battery and the positive side is going to run. So I mark it all down. The negative on these batteries is on the underside. So this is the negative line, and it goes right up to the lights on one side. And then this is the positive side, the top. It actually says that on the battery, if you kind of see right there. And so the tape is in connection with the battery. And as you push it down, this is the positive line right here, and it goes to each of the left-hand sides of the lights. So I've removed that piece of paper so it's connecting, and you can see the lights fading in and out. And you always want to test it before you put down your layer that's going to be over top of it. But again, this just cuts the circuit, so this can't come in contact with the top of your battery. You can ship your card that way. And then you can actually have whoever receives the card remove this piece right here, okay? And it will start lighting up as you press this, right? So it does need pressure. You can see here. Okay, so you're probably wondering, well, you've got foam tape right here. Well, just don't remove. If you want this piece of paper to be removable so they can always insert it and take it, put it back in and take it out, don't remove the paper right here on the foam tape. So that's what I'm going to do, is just leave that open. And I have an overlap piece here. I'm going to make sure I don't remove that tape right there. So you can always insert a piece of paper to save the battery. But I'll remove the tape all the way around here, around the edges, and then here in the center. And this tape here is really only so that there's more support underneath the card. I just like to have that. There's no other reason for that. And, this is, again, I've created this little cage so the battery can't come undone and slide out the card. It'll stay in there, okay? So that'll keep the battery in there. It's also got adhesive underneath. And this is just a little added switch so that when you put the pressure down, it does come in contact with the battery really well. So again, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that, I'm going to use my template so you can see it. Where the holes are is where the lights are, or as close as possible. So when you stick it down, you'll see the lights fading in and out through the holes. And then I'll have a piece of that die cut right over top. Okay, so that is how I constructed the wiring part, quote unquote, for the card. Now, for the stamping itself, because this is something that, is a little more involved because of what it is. So this is the background stamp, and you can see that I have stamped an image on the inside part of it, which is entirely separate stamps. I have a border. They're all stuck together because they're stacked. I have this border, and then I have some individual pine boughs, too, that are stamped in different colors. So for that, I used my Stamp Market colors. Okay. These are the colors. Cherry for the red, matcha, and fern. These two are for the pine boughs and the string of lights. And to get the string of lights to be a little bit darker than the background here, what I have done is stamped it twice. So I use my handy dandy Stamp-A-Majig. So you're basically, when you're doing this, I did this on a foam backer sheet so that there would be more pressure there, and I also had to mask it. So what I did to do this is I created a mask by die cutting. There's a die that goes with this stamp here, which I have, and it die cuts this little opening right here. So if you wanted to make a box with this stamp, you could do that. That might be something for later, but I knew I didn't want this as dimensional as a box. These are just cards for now. So what I've done is I've actually die cut out of masking paper the die, and then I actually cut the top and the bottom off because that's what I use to do the top and the bottom masking. And then this is just straight paper tape that I put along the side. And you want to make sure that it's all covered so you don't get into the red areas, just so that the pine boughs look like they're inside of the box and not, coming across this red right here. So to get the string of lights, of course, I inked this up and then I stamped it down so that while the mask was still on, right? So I didn't cross over into the red too much. I stamped it down, and then you use your Stamp-A-Majig to position where it was, right? Lift your stamp up, re-ink it, and then don't move this away. Just leave it where it is, and then stamp it right back in the same spot. Okay, so I got a double inking of the lights so that I can make sure that that looks like it's on top of the pine boughs. I hope that makes sense. So that's how I did the stamping for the inside portion of this frame here. Let's see, the candles. The candles are pretty simple. It's a 2-step stamping process. What I use for that is, you can see here, I've got more candles that I've die cut. I have the standard grip mats that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. They're a pretty good price for if you need to do something like this. Mass production, this is the first die cut that I did. I cut it out of the bigger piece of paper and stuck it down to the standard grip mat, and then I just recycle in and out the new die cuts. So I have some more sitting right here, and I could just basically fit them right in here. And then I ink up my stamp that's on the stamp block. I have two because it is a two-step process. And I do each of the layers in different color ink. Okay. For those candles, these are the two colors I picked out. The reason I've chosen these colors is I knew I would be doing colored lights and white lights. And so I didn't want to have to switch ink colors for the different colored lights. So I chose something that's pretty neutral. The Ton stamp ink is soft ash and smoky quartz. So each of these two tones pretty much complement each other. You can see it right here. So I just use these two to do my bubble lights. And then for the base of it, instead of stamping it, which I could have done in the gray, I used this Distress Rock Candy glitter with some glue. Okay, some stickles actually, that I purchased a long time ago from Tuesday Morning. So this is stickle glue. I just spread it on the base and then dipped that into the glitter, and off we go. So I let it dry. So that's how I did the lights. That gives you an image that looks like this. Okay. And so when you take take that paper out, you see how it has contact. So now you can test out and see how it looks with the color changing lights. And that's how I did it. So there is a little hole in the back so that some of the light can come through a little bit better. I don't know if you necessarily need to do that. I did use lighter weight paper to die cut the little bulb lamps. So this is an 80-pound white paper that I get from the stamp market. This is 110 or 100-pound from Paper Tray Ink. I use this a lot for all my card bases. This is their standard white card stock. So this is heavier and thicker. I don't know that would be a good idea to use it when you want the light to shine through. So that's why I went with a lighter weight cardstock, and also lighter weight for the bulbs too, because you want that light to come through. So you can see the color changing effect here. It's better with the lights out, but you get the idea. So that's how I created this card. I hope that helps if you were wondering. And I hope to make a couple of different types of cards. I even had tried different inks. So this is a darker color. It doesn't have the bulbs in it, but you can see that it's the same idea. It's just a different colorway of lights. And you guys can see the colors changing, right? It's very dramatic with the rainbow effect lighting. So anyway, that's it for now. If you have any questions, leave them below. I hope that makes sense. I didn't show like how I did it, but tried to explain what I did do. And oh, by the way, I did cut my die cuts down. So here's a stamped one that I did not use. You can see here at the bottom of the base of the bulb is actually the same as the die cut, because there is a die cut that matches this. I chose not to use the die cut of the string. I just cut them at the bottom so that they can sit right on top, you know, of the image there. If I had used the die cut, I think it would have been just a little bit more extra. I just didn't feel like doing all that. So here's one that I inked up and thought I was going to use, but didn't. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the cards, and thanks for watching. Bye.